Good afternoon. Happy Saturday or Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. I don't know what I'm gonna do today. I think, regardless of what I'm gonna do, it's gonna involve learning and coding. Let's see. Oh, there's T1E. What's up, man? How are you doing? Thanks for stopping by and saying hello. Hoping your weekend's been good so far, man. Also, Steve, I switched my see, nothing much. You saw what I did today already. I did, man. You've been productive. Have you done anything other than code today? Have you lifted some weights? Hung out with the fam? Anything like that? I was gonna say, oh, by the way, I also switched my font back. I tried that font you recommended for a little while. It was just too narrow for me. Steve, how's your day going? It's going good, man. I just got done doing a bunch of pull-ups. Oh, you did legs. Nice. Yeah, I'm pulling today. Victor, yo, what's good? Is that what WSG is? What's good? It's good, man. How are you, Victor? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Steve, well, it does need some getting used to. Yeah, I tried it for, what was it, 2 days? I even tried it on my other laptop, and then I was like, I'm out of here. Victor, no horizontal today. Why? Because the horizontal streams just don't get the same engagement. Because the horizontal streams don't get shown in the shorts feed. So I'm sticking with the vertical for now. I think it's a differentiator. There's not a ton of people streaming this kind of content vertically, so I think it stands out in the feed. And at this point, I'm just trying to get people exposed to my content. So that's why. Let's see. Pablo posted something in Discord. Oh, I did. Hey, I need to show this on stream because this is actually I saw this Pablo. I saw that on Let's see. I saw that on LinkedIn actually. Is where I saw that. Let me show you guys this. I'm sure some of you guys have seen this. This looks like a really fun project. Have you guys? Any of you guys follow Wes Boss or know who he is? He's one of the co-hosts of Syntax. He has a bunch of courses and stuff like that. But he always posts really fun projects that he worked on, and this was kind of an interesting one. So, right, he's got. Can you guys see this? Oh no, that's full screen. This is a better view for you guys. But basically, here I'll post it too in the chat. But basically, he built a model or an application that uses a model to recognize repetitions, which is pretty cool. It can even distinguish like left versus right. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know if you don't follow Wes Bosch, you really should. He's a good guy. Um, he has a website here. I'll link up his website too. I'm all about making good recommendations to people who are smarter than me. He's got a bunch of the beginner. He has one that I did was like 30 days of JavaScript. Yeah, JavaScript 30. I did this way back in the day when I was just first learning how to code. It was very helpful. I haven't done any of his other courses though, but makes a lot of good content. Hold on one sec. I think I want to do a little bit of the large language model, but I was working on that on my other computer last night. I need to make sure I push up all my changes. Let me get my other computer real quick. I'm back. I'm currently learning about building attention mechanisms in large language models. It's pretty fascinating. At this point, my simple oversimplification of building large language models is it's a bunch of vectors and a lot of matrix multiplication. Let's see. I bet I didn't. I was in the middle of doing this when my kids needed something and I forgot to. Okay. I think I'm going to do a little bit of Go. And then I think I'm going to do a little bit of large language models. And a little bit of talking to you guys. A little bit of chatting. Talking. Man, I broke my iPad a couple weeks ago. Shattered the screen on it. I think I can show you. Let's see if I can get this on screen. I don't know if the cracks will show up. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's like, what's the best way to show you that it's cracked? Maybe if I just press on it, you can see it. Like oh God. What have I done? It's not. This isn't. Anyways. Anyways, take my word for it. I shattered the hell out of the screen. And I'm still using it because I don't want to buy a new one, but every time I see it, and when I look behind me, I saw it, I'm a little bummed out. Because I like my iPad. Pablo, what's up, man? How are you? Stewie, I'm starting my first GUI project, a weather app. Gonna use Fine for GUI. In Go, you mean? You're gonna use build a GUI app in Go? Send a picture in Discord. Yeah, it's like, it's real fucked up. Yeah, it's hard. I don't know what the best way to capture a shattered screen is. There's probably like a better background I could use to show all the cracks. My phone cracked a week ago. Still going through my life without one. It's been a hell of a life without it. Yeah. Life without a phone, it's got to be kind of weird in the modern world. Although, have you seen the dumb phones, Victor? Have you seen those? Like, that's kind of like a trend people are going back to. Some people are like ditching their smartphones for dumb phones. There was one I saw. It's like an e-ink phone. You seen this? This is crazy. Pablo. Yeah, actually, Pablo, it was before you joined the stream. I saw your message in Discord, and that's why I put it on stream. Because I had seen it on LinkedIn, and I hadn't thought to share it. And then when you shared it in Discord, I was like, oh, yeah, that would be awesome. I bet a lot of people would find that really cool. Yeah, Books Palma. Yeah, that's. I can't believe people like. I mean, I guess I can. Like, it probably does make your life a lot simpler. But it's also, I would imagine, much harder to navigate daily life in some circumstances. I don't know. I grew up, like I didn't have a cell phone. Let's see, I got my first cell phone. Let's see, when we were like I was in 6th or 7th grade, I think, when I got a cell phone. But there for a little bit, it was like all my siblings shared one phone. So like whenever we went someplace, we would take the phone. And then I think sometime in middle school, we all got a phone. But I didn't have a smartphone until, like, my first iPhone was the iPhone 4. I was in college when I got my first smartphone. Pablo, you stream exercising, so thought it would be cool. Yeah, I think it's awesome. Like, so it's a really cool idea. I don't want to blatantly rip his idea off, but like I could totally see working on something like that for fun. Your own little rep counter in the gym, So there's this idea in weightlifting of tempo, like tempo to your repetitions. So I think it would be kind of cool to have a model that like counted your tempo for you, right? So like think of like you're doing a repetition. There's the tempo of lowering. There's whether or not you pause in the middle at the midpoint or not, and then there's the tempo of raising. So like you could have like a really common one is like 4:02, which would mean you count 4 seconds down, you pause for 0 seconds, you come up in 2 seconds. So you could have a model that would be like 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, and so you'd have this model basically like tempoing your reps. But that also sounds hard, and I already have way too many side projects going at the moment. So I probably should just stick that one in the back pocket until I sort through some of these other ones. Let's see, my last phone was $160. Now I'm going to buy a $120 Android. I shattered it under 6 months. Yeah. If you're hard on phones, Victor, I totally get why you'd want to try to minimize your investment up front. Yeah, like, yeah, I think that'd be really cool, Pablo, to have like because I mean, like, a lot of times, right? That's what my strength coach in high school. He was a big believer in time under tension, and tempo, and so like our whole workouts were on a clock, right? So you'd set a clock for like because really, like, if you think about it, right, a workout just comes down to a bunch of seconds, right? I mean, it's just time. So he would have it like all timed out to where it's like, okay, your set should take a minute, your partner's set should take a minute, you should rest for a minute, repeat, right? So we were basically just on this big giant red clock at the front of the weight room. Started 60 minutes, and then it was like a well orchestrated machine the whole time. It was kind of cool. Steve Winnie, probably next one I'll get iPhone 14. Yeah, I'd like to get a new iPhone. I got a new iPhone last year because not a brand new one. It's I think mine's a 13. Actually, mine might be a 14. But I'd like to get a brand new one. I'd like to get back, but they're just so expensive. Let me see which one I have. They're just so expensive. Yeah, mine's a iPhone 14. I got it on Amazon. It's like it was refurbished. It's like $700, $800, something like that. Sohas, hi, I'm new here. What's going on? Hello, Sohas. Glad to have you here. We're just chatting right now, but I think what I'm getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to learn some Go and probably also learn a bit more about building large language models. So a little mix of both. Let's see, C1E will work for like next 8 years and has everything you could ever need. Yeah, you pay a big premium for buying the newest iPhone, and you probably don't need, like, I think like right now I think the best laptop on the market is like an M2 MacBook Air. Like, you can pick up a 16 gigabyte M2 MacBook Air for like $700 at Best Buy. That's more computer than, with 16 gigabytes of RAM, that's more computer than most people will ever need. You just pay such a huge premium for buying like the most recent model. Sogo, are you learning how to code a 1-minute timer? No, I'm not. I'm not. I was just talking. We were talking about this thing some of us saw on some of the socials with Wes Boss building an application that could count his reps for him. And so I was saying it would be kind of cool to have a model that could like watch you and ensure you have the right tempo for each repetition. That's what that was about. Sumit, what are you doing? Well, Sumit, right now I'm just talking to you guys, but here in a second I'm going to try to start learning a little bit of Go. St1E, nah, I got my ThinkPad T480, which I'll start upgrading. For now, just change the heatsink to T480's one. Temps are way better. Nice. Yeah, you pay a premium for buying the latest and greatest hardware, and in most cases you don't need it, right? I mean, you don't need it. The only times I think it's probably really worth it, right, is if you're wanting to game, you're wanting to do some sort of heavy content creation type stuff, right? Sumit, Go as in language. Yeah. Yep. So we can start doing that. I just get a little distracted with talking to you guys. I'm brand new to Go, like brand new, and so basically where the whole idea started from was because we saw that the TypeScript compiler was getting rewritten in Go, and so then we were all kind of like, you know what, maybe we should learn some Go. So cool. Oh, this was the idea this was the Wes Boss thing that we were talking about, where it like counts as reps. Let's see. Sumit, why do you use Go? I don't, Sumit, actually. I write in JavaScript, TypeScript, C#, that type of thing. The whole idea to learn Go was really random. Like one day, I think St1E, who's in the chat right now, he was telling me that he had started learning Go. and then like the next day or like 2 days later, TypeScript announced they were rewriting the compiler in Go. And so then it was like, oh yeah, maybe if Anders Hallsberg sees value in Go as a programming language, maybe I should learn it. So that's why. That's why. That's what we're doing. And I've basically just been going through their documentation page. Mob Psycho, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Sumit, JS is cool. JS is very cool. Let's see, Sumit, I have heard about it, but I don't know where do you use it. It's a server-side language, Sumit, and St1e has more experience than I do, so if I say anything wrong, I know he'll correct me, but it's primarily a server-side language, right? So it's like C#. It has a runtime. You can publish things as single file executables, just like in C# or with .NET languages. But it can be used, as I understand it, to build web APIs. There are server-side rendering frameworks for web applications. So yeah, all those kinds of things, Sumit. Sogo, have you ever looked into Rust? I have. Actually, I started at the... Let's see, let's go to my GitHub. There's a repository. I'm on like chapter. I forget what chapter I'm on. But I haven't really worked on it. Let's see, the Rust. Basically, I've just started to work through the Rust programming language book. So like I've done quite a bit. Like I've basically gotten to the point where we're talking about ownership in the borrow checker and all that stuff. So yeah, I've written a little bit of Rust. The borrow checker is strange. The memory management game in Rust is a whole thing. But it's been a while since I pushed a commit here. Yeah, 3 months ago. You can kind of see beginning of the year. Just got distracted with other things. But it seems like a good language, like a really nice language. I don't know it well enough to really do much with it. Sumit, like Node.js? Yeah, exactly, Sumit. So if you're a JavaScript developer and you know something like Node, where you run JavaScript on the server, so Go would be, in you may know this, Sumit, so forgive me if I'm like over explaining, but yeah, so like Node.js is a runtime for the JavaScript language, right, that works on servers, and so Go, right, is a similar thing, where Go's the language, but Go's also provides the runtime for the language. Victor, nope. Me and St1e do not know each other. St1e just has been a very ardent supporter of my channel over the last almost 2 months now. It seems like he's always in the chat, and I appreciate him. So personally on YouTube, yes. Let's see, Sumit. I'm starting Node.js next week. Well, that's exciting, Sumit. You'll like Node.js. I think that's a great place to start when you're learning JavaScript. I always tell people, like, I personally am a believer that I think JavaScript's kind of the ideal first language to learn, primarily for 2 reasons. You get the ability to do St1e more like 2 weeks. I over exaggerate, okay? Primarily because once you know JavaScript, right, you can basically do anything. You know what I mean? You can basically build whatever you want because you can build front ends. Once you know JavaScript, you just need to know about Node.js and you can write stuff on the server. And you're kind of off to the races. Sumit, any tips for mastering backend? No, because I'm not a master of front end or back end development. So no tips for mastery. My only recommendation is just to stick with it, work on it every day, as much time as you can get on the keyboard, and build. You know what I mean? Build. Don't get stuck in tutorial hell. Victor, I'm gonna be too. Oh, Boston and Logan are here. Nice. Okay. Hello, Boston. Hello, Logan. Nice to see you guys. Yeah, that's why I like JS. I believe in future JS will be like crazy. Yeah, I think Sumit, I think JS is already kind of like eating the world. I mean, JavaScript is pretty much eating the world in terms of a lot of development. I know a lot of people hate on it. I'm not one of them, but mob building projects is the only way to get good in backend. Yeah, I think mob building projects in general is the only way to get better at programming in general. Like, you need to build projects that require you to solve problems that other people haven't told you how to solve, which is what tutorials are, right? Tutorials are, here's a contrived problem I've already thought through and come up with the solution, and now I'm presenting it to you. Let's see. Boston and Logan are in a tiff. Boston says, Steven, you have so many subscribers. Yeah, I don't know where they come from, man. But some of them keep showing up. I mean, some of them leave. Like, I see the counts go down. I see the counts go up. Either way, life goes on. But I appreciate those who do subscribe and tune in and watch. It's very nice of them. Let's see. Sumit. Yo, you have a good community. Lovely people in the chat. Yeah, we do try to work really hard, Sumit, at keeping the chat pretty chill. Whenever the trolls show up, I match energy with the trolls. we move them along quickly. Let's see. Suha says, I'm planning to learn Rust. Any advice for me? Well, as someone who only has like a month's worth of time spent learning it, I hesitate to give you any real advice. Be prepared to kind of change the way you think about programming. So, Suhas, if you're coming from a memory managed language like JS, something with a garbage collector, just be prepared for there to be this additional layer of thinking that you have to put in when you're writing code, because you're having to think about this concept of ownership, which is just different than if you're coming from something like JavaScript or C# or Go or any of these garbage collected languages. There's just a level of like mental weight that you don't have to think about. You don't have to consider it. But then when you're writing something like Rust, even though they've built the language in such a way that you're not going to shoot yourself in the foot, you still have to think about it. So, Skrlacodist. Hello, Skrlacodist. Steve1E, bro, why is there no NeoVim nightly for DNF? Ugh. Sumit, can I connect with you on LinkedIn? Sure, man. My LinkedIn's in my YouTube channel description. Anybody is welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. Yeah, I am just some random man in Kansas, so there's nothing special about me. Happy to connect with you guys. Boston, I'm sorry, I'll stop arguing with Logan. Yeah, Boston, you and Logan, I don't know, man. I don't know what you got. You guys might want to start like your own Discord or your own WhatsApp chat or something. You guys are in my chat more to argue with each other than anything else. Sumit says, man, I don't understand why NeoVim is getting popular. I've got an opinion on that. If you're interested. Suhas, Python, yeah. Yeah, Suhas, that's the only thing. I mean, you'll be able to learn it. I think anybody can learn anything. It's just different, right? So like in Python, you just think like, I'm passing things around and I'm initializing new variables and creating new instances of classes and yada, 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 and you let the garbage collector figure out when the heck to clean it all up and what thread owns what and what thing owns what. And in Rust, there's just an additional consideration you have to think through. And I'm sure it becomes more natural, and I'm sure that weight goes away as you write it more, but that was just my experience. Sumit, sometimes I miss low-level concepts like manual memory management. Yeah, I mean, I don't miss them because I've never really written many languages that force me to have to deal with them. But I think most of the world would say they don't miss it because it seems like the trend in most things has been to not use non-GC languages. Sumit. Yeah, I mean Python's fine. I mean I understand. I mean I would never throw shame at anybody who enjoys writing Python. Cuz the people don't enjoy the languages I enjoy. But yeah, Python's not my preferred. Like if I had to pick one, that wouldn't be it at the moment. But maybe one day that'll change, you know? We all change, so Mob Psycho, I sent you a request on LinkedIn. Okay, nice, yeah. Send them on over. Happy to connect with y'all. How do I... Let's see. Suhas. Sad. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Yeah, I think... Well, Boston hangs out in the chat all the time. Logan is a friend of Boston's, but I'm not sure. Yeah, they're just... Those guys, I think, sometimes have some disagreements that are unrelated to anything happening here. Let's see. I missed something. Oh, Victor says, what Oh My Posh theme are you using? I'm using Agnoster. I think is the one I'm using. Oh My Posh. I think it's customized a little bit. Like, I think I may have changed the color. Agnoster. I think I'm using this one. Yeah, Agnoster. I changed it a little bit. My actual one is on my GitHub, or it's not my GitHub, but it's in my gist. Let me find it for you. One sec. 1 second. This one. This is what I actually use, Victor. Oh My Posh theme is right there. Oh, whoops. It would help if I actually sent it. Sumit thinks ML is for... Yeah. Yeah, that's what Sumit said, but I don't... I just don't... I mean, people are entitled to their opinion. I would never throw... Yeah, I would just... Yeah. Not ML, but ML doesn't really excite me. Well, I mean, the thing is, Sumit, though, is like... Python's pretty much what everybody does ML in. I mean, I know that you can do ML in other languages, but like if you looked at a pie chart, right, of the language share. Yeah. Boston, I'm doing well, man. I hope you're doing well too. All right, so let's learn a little bit about Go here. I guess I'm going to learn about Go slices at the moment. All right, so I'm going to return a random greeting. Benny, sup, little bro? What's up, Benny? How are you doing, man? Although little might be, I mean, I'm 31, man. How old are you, Benny? I don't know if little would be a good adjective to describe me. Mob, I'm a Python developer and I don't know ML. Yeah, which is, I mean, Python, like, you can just be an app developer, right? Write in Python. It's just, I just mean like as a share of a pie, right? Like the majority of ML work is probably done in Python. Suhas, Olama is easy. Yeah, Olama's great. I have Olama on my computer. I don't run it all the time, but I just don't have the hardware really to make the Olama experience particularly wonderful. Like it's fine for like experimenting and exploring, but like I tried to set up Olama to replace GitHub Copilot in VS Code. I did that like last spring or summer last year, and the inference was just too slow. I mean, I know that's a hardware problem, but it's just too slow on my stuff. But it is a really cool to be able to run models locally. Boston, yeah, man, chill. Yeah, nothing, no need for apologies, man. Victor, what is Git and what is Git blame? So Git is source control, Victor, and there's probably way better people on the interwebs that can explain the inner workings of it than I can here. Um, and Git blame is just a way to look at who changed what and when they changed it. Benny, I'm 14. Yeah. Well then, you're the little bro, Benny. Let's see, Pablo. I can run a few models with the 10 gigabytes of VRAM I have. Yeah, like I used Code Llama. Was the one I tried to use for the VS Code thing, and I also experimented with Llama just in general. I think the 7 billion model, and it works. It's just, I mean, it's much slower than using GitHub Copilot or ChatGPT. I mean, it just, I think people like the level of effort it goes into making that experience in those products good. It makes you really appreciate it. Victor. Nice, man. Well, I hope you have a great birthday, dude. Any new projects? No, no new projects. I'm just trying to wrap up ones I have started. Is basically where I'm at. I need to wrap up some ones that I started so that I can focus on one really big one that I want to take on. Um, and I've been working on that really big project a little bit, but I would really like to just kind of hone in my attention to just that thing for the next few months. But we'll see. Don't Olama GPT Olama. I use Google. Yeah, I use Google too, and I use AI stuff. Suhas in VS Code. Yeah, So I tried to do the whole Olama replacement for a Copilot thing in VS Code. It wasn't for me, Suhas. Maybe you have better hardware than I do. Benny, how you feel about AI taking your job, man? Are you worried? Benny, I actually posted on my Blue Sky today about that. Let me see if I can find it. Sumit, what's Olama in VS Code? Is it like Copilot? Yeah, so Sumit basically, so Olama is the separate application that you can install and makes it very easily, very quickly to pull down models and run them and expose them over, API. It's basically an API endpoint that you hit, um, and you can do things with it. And then there's all kinds of like different ecosystem community like things that you can. Are you guys arguing? Sorry, there was commotion. I thought my kiddos were arguing. Ollama. So yeah, so Ollama is basically you can pull down these open source models, you can run them locally. Right, makes it really easy. And there's all this ecosystem that's built up around it. That there's all these GUIs that you can grab and run locally and hook up to Ollama as it's running on your machine. And so what I tried to do was I tried to use Ollama as code completion for basically code completion to replace Copilot. And it just wasn't as quick as the actual Copilot experience is what I mean. So yeah. That was my experience. But some people might have better hardware, and they may get more runway out of using Ollama locally. Like I said, my computer has 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's like there's just not much there. Steve1E. So Steven, what were you planning on doing this stream? Oh well, I was gonna work on Go a little bit. Oh, but I was gonna show you guys this post because well, that's not the right site. Blue Sky. Yeah, there you go. Because Benny asked if I'm worried about AI taking my job, and I actually posted this this morning where I said I'm so tired of the AI versus programmer conversation. Like it's so boring and it's so uninteresting, and it's dumb. It's kind of I'm not worried about it, I guess is the short answer. Mob Psycho. What headphones are you using? These are Sony. They're not like the really nice Sony headphones. Like the $400 Sonys. I got these for like $100. What's the model? I don't even know if this has the model on them. Oh, here it is. These are WHXB 900Ns. Which I'm guessing I can find them for you. Let's see. Sony. What was it? WHXB 900Ns. Yeah. Yeah. I got these on sale at Target for like $100 one last couple years ago. They're great. They're wonderful. Suhas RTX 4060 Ti 8GB. Yeah, I don't have that kind of hardware, Suhas. You're lucky, man. Benny, seriously, dude, what? Suhas says, why are you not worried about AI? Is there any particular reason? Yeah, because I've used a lot of AI products. I spent a lot of time with the foundation models, and I just don't see a world where I don't see a world in the next 5 or even 10 years where a programmer is going to be completely replaced by some sort of even agentic AI. I just don't see it. And I could be totally wrong. I'm just not worried about it. Like, if anybody here has actually, like, built a seriously sizable, complex project, then you kind of understand what I'm talking about. And if any of you actually work in software development, like you participate in the SDLC cycle, right? If any of you actually work in that cycle, whether it be product or design or programming, development, testing, there's just so much more there to that whole process than a guy in a room writing code, right? So and there's so much more that developers and programmers contribute to the software development lifecycle than just writing code. Mob Psycho, yeah. Guys, AI will not replace your job. Chill, yeah. I completely agree. I mean, I'm a user of AI. I pay for GitHub Copilot. I believe in the technology. I just don't think anyone at this point should be concerned with it. And even if that was a thing, I still wouldn't be concerned because I've already changed my career like 4 times. Um, I've literally, so like whatever comes next, I'll learn that too, and I'll move on. You should stick the sign and tap it. And with sign, I mean my quote. Oh, yeah. We did have a really good. Let me see if I can. I forgot. I took a screenshot of that. One sec. Let me see if I can pull up that screenshot. Because Pablo had a really good quote on this topic. And probably everyone would benefit from hearing it. See, not trust this browser. Don't trust. Let me see. It was on a workout stream when Pablo said it. Yeah, here it is. Here's the screenshot. See if it'll load. There we go. Okay, so Pablo, this was something Pablo said that was just really good on this whole topic. Okay, Benny, I'm going to time you out. Because you're being a little bit of a troll. So have a nice, good 30 minutes in the corner there. Suhas, that made me feel better. Yeah, this quote will make you feel better. Because this is what Pablo said. Then this really resonated with me. He said, to me, a software engineer should be able to sit anywhere in the process, product design, development, shipping, etc. Someone needs to write down requirements and focus on the product to improve it. And I'm sure there's an AI hype bro out there that's going to say, yeah, AI will be able to do that one day. And maybe so. But at this point, I do not see that. So yeah, that's why I'm not worried about it. Steve1E, Steven, will you teach me how to write tests? Sure, Steve1E. Although I don't know how to write tests in Go, but I can teach you how to write tests. Like, I can teach you end-to-end testing, integration testing. I'm sure each language has its own little approach to it, but like, maybe that would be interesting for me to learn first, is how to write tests in Go. Pablo, we haven't replaced 1% yet. Yeah, it's funny. The whole technology coming for programmers' jobs is kind of this repeated thing, right? Because like the low code tool, the no code tool, that was supposed to put programmers out of jobs. That never happened. Steve1E, just explain methodology to me later, not on stream though. Okay, yeah, sure, man. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. I have thoughts. They're not all correct thoughts, but they're my thoughts on the topic. Yeah, it's funny actually. My day job, I work for a company that sells no-code software. And it's funny because no matter what abstraction you use to try to replace the need for programmers or developers, the problem is that the fundamental issues, right, about maintainability, scalability, testability, all these things, all these problems that are fundamental to programming, coding, solving problems with code, no matter what abstraction you use, those problems remain, right? And so you still need, so you inevitably end up with the same type of people working in those jobs with those skill sets, regardless of the abstraction they're using, in my opinion. Sujit, AI won't be able to take jobs of SW devs. It will make them even more efficient. A dev skilled in some tech can generate codes in other techs and validate it. This enables existing devs more useful. I would agree with that, Sujit. Yes, we will work hand in hand. Victor, repeat the quote, please. Okay, Pablo's quote says, to me, a software engineer should be able to sit anywhere in the process, product design, development, shipping, etc. Someone needs to write down requirements and focus on the product to improve it. St1E, the thing is, I got like no idea what tests are. How do I write them? Like, I'm a complete noob. Sure, yeah, man, St1E, I'm happy to. I mean, testing is really like, especially a test-driven development approach. Testing's just a way for you to validate, verify, think through the problem you're trying to solve, encode the logic and document the logic of your solutions. Yeah, testing has a lot of benefits. Adds confidence, creates psychological safety when you're making changes in your code base. App Alchemist says that is for now. Soon AI will get that done too. Which App Alchemist? That, like I said, I know there's people out there that's how they would counter my opinions, and that's okay. I can be proven wrong. I'm okay with being proven wrong. But right now, I think there's too much hype in the system. Mob, yep, 100% agree. I previously worked on a low-code platform and it was a mess. Yeah, exactly. And inevitably, this whole idea of anyone will be able to code, anyone will be able to build an app, anyone can build a website, right? Which was the promise of things like Squarespace, and it was the promise of things like WordPress. You know, and anybody can build a web app, which was the promise of things like Bubble.io. Most of the people who now use WordPress and use Squarespace, like, all right, whole agencies that are WordPress agencies, right? Because at the end of the day, just because everybody can doesn't mean everybody wants to, right? Not everybody wants to sit down and build a website. They want other people to do it. You know, even right now, right? These AI systems, it's like you still need a human in the loop. You need a human in the loop. Someone's got to sit there and prompt the AIs. So, yeah, it's an interesting thing. Yeah, it'll never be like that. I agree. And I think that's where this overhype conversation, this engagement bait is just, I don't know, it's not interesting. Pablo says, I code for a living. I can't tell you. Yeah. Yeah. Also, quality of those apps will never be the same as the one that was made by Pro. Agreed. Pablo, we will code in natural language. I can kind of see a future like that, Pablo. Yeah. That's as far as it will go. Yeah, I can see that. You know? But there is something to be said about the benefits, right, of non-natural language, right? Structured language. There's something to be said about the ability to say, you know, to have very imperative or declarative languages. I mean, natural language is nice at times, but I also find myself frustrated sometimes. Like, hey, AI, please center this div, right? Sometimes it feels much easier to just say display flex, align item center, justify content center. I don't know. Sometimes that feels easier. Pablo, but debugging, that will exist in 10 to 30 years. Yeah, agreed with that. Problem solving. Yeah, that's the meta skill. Problem solving is the meta skill. All right, what do you say I add some random greetings to this little Go module I've got here? All right, so I need to import math random. And then I'm going to do something with slices. Okay. I'm surprised Copilot doesn't try to finish this tutorial for me. I figure this code's everywhere on the internet. Random format. There's Copilot. Okay. So the part that's interesting about this code is this, the slices. Returns one of a set of greeting messages. The return message is selected at random. So let's just copy and paste this. Why does it say rand is undefined? Oh. Oh goodness, I've turned on caps lock. That might be the scariest thing to do in NeoVim, is to actually accidentally hit the caps lock button. Victor, hey dude, gotta go. Feeling sleepy. Good night. See you, Victor. Have a good evening. Yeah, nice thing with not coding in natural language is that you're always specific about what you want. Yeah, and it's much more efficient. If you know what you want, why not, right? Again, that's where I think AI shines. AI shines. In generative AI particularly shines in the 0 to 1 problem. Overcast bulb. Why learn Go? Because I want to, I guess, man. I don't know. Why learn anything? Because I want to. Victor, bye everyone. See you, Victor. Have a good day. So I wonder why. So what's the deal with slice? Why slice? Why not just an array? Anybody know? I guess that's probably explained in this blog post. The slice type is an abstraction built on top of Go's array type. An array type definition specifies a length and an element type. For example, the type 4int represents an array of 4 integers. An array's size is fixed. Its length is part of its type. Arrays do not need to be initialized explicitly. Okay. The in-memory representation of 4int is just your 4 integer values laid out sequentially. Okay. An array literal can be specified like so. Or you can have the compiler count the array elements for you. Oh, that's kind of nice. Let's see. Slices. Arrays have their place, but they're a bit inflexible, so you don't see them too often in Go. Slices, though, are everywhere. They build on arrays to provide great power and convenience. Okay. So basically a slice is the ability to have like an array of variable size. Oh no. It says to increase the capacity of a slice, you must create a new larger slice and copy the elements. So reslicing a slice doesn't make a copy of the underlying array. Huh. Okay, I've got more learning to do there for sure. Let's see. Hello. Go. Suhas, me going to get food. Bye. See you, Suhas. Thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate you. Ghost 2410, what are you doing? I'm trying to learn about Go. Ghost, what is the problem project? There really isn't a problem project. I'm literally just going through Go's documentation. App, how do you share your video and your screen like that? I use OBS app Alchemist, which is free. Looky there. We're getting random greetings. Well, I wonder what the point of that was. I guess it just wants me to know that I can build arrays like that or slices like that. Return a random greeting. Return greetings from multiple people. I love this solution to preserve backwards compatibility. Let's just say it says a better choice is to write a new function with a different name. Aha! What clever approach to backwards compatibility. Let's see. App Alchemist, please read my earlier comment. Yeah, how do you share your video and screen like that? I use OBS. Okay, so they have a range function in Go. That's kind of nice. So our hellos function just calls our hello function. Easy enough. And then let's see, make. So that does what? That makes a map, huh? Built-in function allocates and initializes an object of type slice, map, or chan, which I guess is channel, probably. So this is a map. I guess that has key string and value string, I guess is what that's declaring there. Do we need to make any other changes? I don't think so. Then we need to change the hello. This. Then we're gonna say, oops. All right, let's give this a shot. Nice. Look at us. We're just over here doing crazy Go things. Oh, look here. We can add a test. We're going to learn about testing. Quality engineer in the house. You know what I mean? Testing. Max Helperman. What do you use for terminal mods? Oh My Posh. I use PowerShell and I use Oh My Posh. Steve1E. Yeah, thanks. Steve1E was already on top of it. Thanks, Steve1E. I appreciate you looking out for people in the chat. It's very nice of you. Oh, App Alchemist. I asked earlier if you have any app or web that makes you any cash. I do not, App Alchemist, and I would love, I would love to have one of those. Right now, everything I built has just been for my own curiosities and my own interests. But I do. There is an app that I want to focus. There's a project that I want to build that I want to focus on for the next couple months that I think could possibly maybe be that first side project that people might pay for. But again, most of everything I build, I don't build it with the expectation I'm going to make money off of it. It's more just because I enjoy it and want to learn. But I do. I would be lying if there wasn't a part of me that's a little jelly when I see people on X, or even Blue Sky, or just people in general share their like, I built a website that makes me $1,000 a month. Like, you motherfucker. I mean, $1,000 extra as a month is meaningful money, you know? Even $100 extra a month is meaningful. All right, let's learn about writing a test in Go, and that might wrap up my my activities for this afternoon. Kind of want to go play some Call of Duty. All right, so Go's built-in support for unit testing makes it easier to test as you go, specifically using naming conventions. Go's testing package in the Go test command. You can quickly write and execute tests. Okay, test hello name calls greetings.hello with a name checking for a valid return value. Okay, so in the greetings directory, create a file called greetingstest.go. Well, I can do that. I know how to create files. Greetings tests.go. Oh, I guess it was singular. Mob, grass is always greener on the other side. It really is, Mob Psycho. Although I heard a good one yesterday about that. So, who was it? I think it was a clip of Alex Hormozi. Do you guys know who that is? He's like a bit kind of a business. He started off in the fitness industry and then was really successful in the fitness business, and now he's expanded into, you know, just being kind of a business influencer. But he was talking about how like his first CFO that he worked with used to say, the grass is always greener, but there's shit everywhere. Basically meaning that like the shit that you have in your business, right, or in your life is the shit you know about. But over there where the grass is greener, there is also shit. You just don't know about it. Stewie, in Serbia, 1,000 is more than most people's monthly income. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. Well, then $1,000 for somebody in that situation would be life changing. Alchemist. All videos I see are people who are making millions extra a month. Yeah, which I just don't necessarily believe. But yeah, when I was personal training, when I was doing online personal training, that was my goal. Was like if I could make an extra $1,000 a month online, like that was meaningful money in my world. Malatse, explain how browsers work. I couldn't explain it to you, man. I don't know. They just work. What are you talking about? Mob Psycho, yeah. Pablo, app learn, LOL. The moment you start learning, you realize they are saying lies. Yeah, yeah, millions a month, probably not so much. But I mean, if you're even making $50 a month, $100 a month, I mean, that's pretty awesome. Anything extra that you can learn on just writing text in a file and running it on a server is awesome. App Alchemist. Wait, you were a personal trainer? I was. Yep. Like I said, I've changed careers like 4 or 5 times at this point. I'm 31. So yeah, that was one of my lives before this life. And I think eventually I'll go back to working in the fitness industry in some way, shape, or form, whether it's like a strength conditioning coach or owning a gym or something. Basically at a point in time where I'm not responsible for being kind of the sole breadwinner, because you don't make a ton of good money being in the fitness world as a fitness professional, and the hours kind of suck. It's fun work, but Stewie, I just want to make something that'll make me enough to cover domain and maybe some cloud expenses. Yeah, that's a great goal, man. It's a great goal. And that's why Stewie, that's why I kind of obsess over minimizing any cost that goes into hosting my projects and deploying my projects, just because none of them make money. So it doesn't make sense to spend money on something that's not making you any. So almost everything that I have deployed out there in the world is like on either like a free tier managed service, or it's on a VPS that I own. Like even the VPS that I have in Oracle Cloud is a free tier VPS. It doesn't make sense to spend even spending $10 a month, right? I mean, you add that up, that's $120 a year that you're spending on something that isn't bringing in any money. Yeah, that's kind of rough. What was I doing? Oh, I was going to write a test. That's what I was going to do. Okay, so there's a testing package we need to bring in. And then we need to put this code in the file. So let's put this code in the file. Let's take a look at it. So basically, each of my tests are just a function call. Which is nice. Well, I guess they're a function call with a very specific signature. Right? This is a very specific signature. So I guess T is some sort of testing object that has some methods off of it. So if not nil is equivalent to error, failed, fail now, helper. Signals that this test is to be run in parallel. Huh. Skip now. There's probably a lot to learn when it comes to testing. In this code, you implement test functions in the same package as the code you're testing. Create 2 test functions to test the greetings.hello function. Calls the hello function. Yeah. Uses the T parameters error F method to print a message to the console. This test is designed to confirm that your error handling works. If the call returns a non-empty string or no error, you use the T parameters error F method to print a message. Huh. So that's how easy it is. Like, you basically are just writing a test that's a function, and then you're just printing a message if it's not what you would expect. Huh. I don't know if I like that. I mean, it almost seems too simplistic, and it also seems a little bit like, you know, in most testing frameworks, you have like assertions. Like, you don't check and then print or something. You just have like an assertion. So it's kind of a different approach. Maybe there are assertions too in Go. I just don't know. Okay, so then I need to cd into greetings. Go test. Well, that doesn't look like what they showed. The go test command executes test functions whose names begin with test in test files, whose names end with test.go. Oh, I have to add the v command. There we go. So you have to have a function named test, and it has to be in a file that ends in test. It's kind of interesting. Stewie, I think I'll also get their free tier. It's fine for most of my projects, so please explain this to me now. What's the point of this? To isolate functions. Yeah, that's basically it, Stewie. To give you that ability to test all the different cases and logic within a particular function. Right? App Alchemist, when will you go live again? I usually go live most days around 2 o'clock in the afternoon during the week. On the weekends too, but about 2 o'clock is what I aim for. Sometimes in the mornings too. Sometimes when I'm working out. Do you have experience in JS, React Native, Expo? I don't have experience in React Native, Expo. I do have experience in JavaScript. Malatse. Bro, I learned by going deep, but sometimes it feels overwhelming. Can I get by with just the essentials? Oh, for sure. You can just practice just-in-time learning, man. Just only learn what you need. Pablo, external packages also provide more testing tools. Okay, good. That's good to know. Yeah, which is that's most languages have like an ecosystem, right, of things that make testing much more enjoyable. But yeah, Stewie, that's basically when it comes to unit testing, it comes to testing in general, right? If you look at your application as one big function, right? If you look at something like a web API and you look at endpoints as like one big function that may or may not have side effects, right? You're just testing. It allows you to take whatever input you want to take in and then verify that the output you get out is right, or verify that the side effects that you would expect to happen actually happen. Instead of taking it for granted. And then in the future, you can then obviously know when you've broken something if you change something in such a way. Now, writing good tests, that's a whole nother conversation, right? Writing tests that aren't brittle, that you don't have to change all the time every time you change your application code. That's a whole thing. Mob Psycho, no assertion in Go. I honestly don't know Mob Psycho if that's true. It was just kind of interesting to me looking at their tests, right? It's like they're not really asserting that error should be nil or error should not be nil, or that the message should not be empty, right? They're literally doing a check and then they're erroring if that is the case, which was kind of interesting to me. Anum Pond. Hey, what's up? A new Palm. Sorry if I'm screwing up your name, man. A new Palm. Is the channel for JS or for which language? It's for all the languages. mostly what I code in is TypeScript or C#. But right now, today, we're taking a gander at some Go. See, Wendy, I would love for you to explain this to me sometime on Discord. I know testing is super important and useful. Yeah, it's definitely, I think it's important. I think it's useful. I think not enough people will spend time writing tests, although I know why they don't, because testing does add time, and writing code in such a way that you can test it is the whole thing, right? So I get why people kind of skip over it. I like C1C's answer. For anything cool. Yeah, exactly. That's what the channel is for. Anything cool. All right, well, now we know how to write the most basic of tests in Go. I'm sure there's a lot more to that. And this is going to teach me about compiling and installing the application. But I'm not going to do that today. That's enough Go for me. Let's see. Let's go back. Say git add, git commit. Let's see. Learn about slices and testing. Oh, was that the first commit I'd ever made here? I don't think it was it? Maybe it was. Let's see. A repository that contains code I wrote while learning Go. Although I guess I probably should find like a... .git ignore for Go. I usually just search git ignore template and then language, because I don't know what all I should be ignoring. Do I have any of those files? I don't see any of those types of files in here. But probably better safe than sorry. Has anyone used Wave Terminal? No, I have not used Wave Terminal. For real, after learning JS and the DOM, I thought that was it. I could go build websites, but heard frameworks are better. Frameworks do make it a lot easier. Your life can be a lot easier using a framework. I think the main thing frameworks do is they make doing like more complex things much easier. Because most of the frameworks are declarative versus imperative, and so it makes it much easier to do complex operations, right? And if you're not familiar with like imperative versus declarative, right, it's the idea of like telling something what you want and then having that thing facilitate what you want versus actually spelling out the exact operations that need to occur to get you what you want. So you definitely know enough to build websites with. If you know JavaScript and you know how to work with the DOM, you can be off to the races, right? It's just when you want to do more complex things, you're probably going to have to write a lot more code in vanilla JS than you might write in another framework. Yeah, basically what Steve just said is what I just said. But yes, it's just easier, right? You do something in React or Vue, it's probably a lot easier than doing it in vanilla JS. To me, the big thing is state management, especially when it comes to front ends, is like, if you've ever written vanilla JS, and built like a pretty rich interactive thing, managing state in your DOM is really painful. Yeah, I don't know anything about Wave Terminal. I've never used it. What are you using for autocomplete suggestion in terminal? I'm using the shell I use is PowerShell. And this, if you're talking about this stuff right here, this comes from a module called PS Readline. So yeah, if you're using PowerShell and you want that functionality, you can check out PS Readline. They basically have a history functionality. If you're curious to a non-POM, again, sorry if I'm screwing up your username there. I have my profile, my PowerShell profile is on my GitHub in my gist. So let me see if I can find it. I'm happy to share it with you. Because I largely took it from somebody else. All right, people. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Not do something programming related. I probably will do something programming related more later, but for right now, I think I'm gonna take a break and go play Call of Duty. Maybe I'm trying to dust off some of the Call of Duty rust because Verdansk comes back at the beginning of April. Okay, you wanna play some Call of Duty? All right. Hold on one sec. Malas, I'm new. I'm on my own. Honestly, I still haven't figured the correct roadmap. I would tell you to go check out Free Code Camp. Malatse. Yeah, if you're feeling lost or feeling like you don't know where to go or what to do, I would type in freecodecamp.org, and that's where I would get your. That's where I would. The good thing with freecodecamp.org is the feedback loop is really fast between learning something and seeing the effects of what you learn. They have a really well thought out curriculum, and then they have a wonderful community that surrounds it. So if you need help as you're going through that, you'll be able to find it. You won't be alone. You won't be on your own. So that's, and you're welcome to hang out in our Discord too. So there's a Discord in my channel description that you're welcome to join. And but Free Code Camp has like a forum, and they have their own Discord, and they have just a huge community. So if you're not familiar with them, if you just go to your browser and type in freecodecamp.org, you'd be off to your races with a good plan. So yeah. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna go play some Call of Duty, and hope you guys have a good rest of your. What was it? Good rest of your Saturday or Sunday if you're already into Sunday. Otherwise, I'll see you guys probably tomorrow, or some point in a video or a short or something. All right. See y'all. Appreciate you. If you hung out here and chatted, and appreciate the engagement. And if you wanna engage outside of streams, the best place for that, or videos or comments or just YouTube in general, the best place for that's Discord. And the link to my Discord's in the channel descriptions, or the channel links. I don't even know what the right word is. All right, guys. Bye.